there is a vocational seminar on the topic, the relevance of law and ethics in the business environment, organized by members of the Rotary Club of Victoria Garden City, Rotary Club of Osakpa Golden, and Rotary Club of Badore, to mark the theme of the Rotary Month. At the event that took place on the 28th of January 2023, the imaginative president of VGC Rotary Club, Rotarian Omotunde Olaleye, spoke on behalf of other presidents, explaining the relevance of the topic to modern-day business operations.
Here today, in commemoration of the Rotary International Month of Vocation, we have over 100 people here participating at this seminar. Be proud. In everything you do, there's a role for a photographer, there's a role for journalist, there's a role for video editor, there's a role for an engineer, there is a role for a driver, and there is a role for a messenger. Everybody will find himself or herself in that value chain. Don't run into trouble contractually. Don't violate law. If you are putting contracts together, make sure you put all the terms and conditions in place. Make sure you dot the I's and cross the T's. Make sure things are put in appropriately, and make sure you do things in order. Don't say because I know him or I know her, I will execute a contract without taking cognizance of what should be in the contract. We talked about price deviation, we talked about force majeure, we talked about agreement itself, and we talk about things like amendment, addendum, and things that could run you into trouble when you execute a contract. Executing a contract is not the issue, but post-execution of the contract is what brings an issue. I've had the opportunity to review, draw, execute, and run over 2,000 agreements in course of my career in contracts management. And I've seen the loopholes that people run into when executing contracts and administering contracts. That is why this topic was chosen to sensitize and educate members and our guests.
The keynote speaker, Barrister Temidayo Dulaja, also made the topic very interesting by giving legal interpretation to the terms law and ethics and how they relate to business operations.
The key distinguishing factor between law and ethics is that law is generally thought to be backed by sanctions, whereas ethics is, thought to be more of perception of what is right and wrong, which thrives on moral suasion. However, as we have explained to the attendees here today, the current legal regime, the current corpus juris has transcended ethics from what it was before, which thrives on moral suasion, to have a quasi-legal binding status now, because we have several regulations. We have regulators who have codified a lot of these principles that before now we knew as ethical principles. So that difference between the law and ethics has thinned out a bit. Depending on the industry that, respective industry persons participate in, if you are in oil and gas, you now have certain obligations which have been bestowed upon you by regulators. You have NCDMB, you have NUPRC. Some of these regulations that they've promulgated were before now considered to be ethical issues. You will do right with your community, you will employ corporate governance, but these things have now become binding by virtue of these regulations that these regulators have put in place. Again, it's beyond contracts. In our business environment, it's important that we understand and manage our stakeholders, both internal stakeholders, our employees, our suppliers, our vendors, and external stakeholders, which of course includes both regulators, your competition, but more importantly, your regulators. It's important to have a line of sight on the regulations that apply to our respective industries so that we comply to ensure that we continue to run our businesses in a sustainable way. It's not business as usual. A lot of the ethical principles that before now we thought we could cut corners with, the law has moved on beyond that. We need to identify what laws, what regulations apply to us as a business, and we need to comply with those laws so that our business can remain as a going concern.
Done with the serious deliberations on seminar and business, it was time to celebrate the birthdays of two special Rotarians, Olufemi Awogbami and past President Victor Edomwade.
We've turned it to a party to make people happy. You pay your dues, and there must be value for paying your dues. So when you pay your dues, part of what you pay as your dues is what we use in celebrating those our members.
From all of us at Dara Network TV, we join the Rotary family to wish the celebrants many more years of celebrations in good health and greater prosperity. For your events coverage, advertisement of goods and services, Dara Network TV is a veritable platform for you. We'll give you a wide reach at a very considerable price. Follow us today on our social media handles: YouTube, Dara Network TV, Twitter at Dara Network TV, Instagram at Dara Network TV. Or send an email to gloriaforgabriel@gmail.com or contact Shino Daniels on the numbers showing on your screen: 0802 568 1978, 0903 027 9524, or 0705 898 9874. Dara Network TV, an online platform built on truth and integrity. Try us today.